Imagine something older than our sun drifting silently into our solar system and then vanishing forever. An alien visitor, not a spaceship, but a frozen fragment of another world passing through our cosmic front yard. This is the third time in history we've caught an object from another star system in our telescopes. What are the odds that we are alone? What secrets does 3I Atlas carry inside its icy core? DNA building molecules, organic dust, or something even more exotic? Every time one of these interstellar objects appears, it reminds us the universe is not empty. Something or someone may be out there in the cosmic zone. How you doing today, Mark?
I'm doing good. You got me all creeped out, man.
Don't be scared. I'm here.
Well, we have a fair amount of people that are creeped out over this comet that is passing through our solar system. And there's been some who think it might be an alien craft. So that's up our alley. So we thought we would talk about it, kind of get fact from fiction and kind of see what we think about this comet, or if it was something non-natural, what would that mean? What would that mean for us, for our society, for our our outlook of the universe? Personally, I think it'd make everybody go crazy in fear, is what I would think, if it came out that it was alien. But do you know much about this comet that's passing through? I've got facts and figures, but
Well, I mean, I know just kind of as the passive reader or viewer might know. I know not much more than that, other than for the first time we've got comets. I think, well, for only the second or third time it is, right? This is the third
three
one
times.
that we've had a comet that originated outside of our solar system, which creates a lot of intrigue because they're saying it may be billions of years old. It may be older than the sun. And it's not taking like an orbit, like a normal comet, like say Halley's Comet, we'll see every so many years. It's like clockwork, right? This one's just like zooming through the galaxy. I think for a while it's going to be behind the sun. And I don't know how they know this because I'm not a scientist, but I know that the makeup of the comet is a little bit different as well. It's got some kind of a gas in it. What is it? The poison. What is that?
Carbon dioxide.
It's got carbon dioxide, but then it's not arsenic.
It's got cyanide, but they say cyanide is not that uncommon for comets.
Okay.
But what is weird about this comet is it has 7 times more carbon dioxide than water, and normally comets are mostly water. Rock and water. So I think why this became first of all, it's a really cool thing to have something from outside our solar system come running through. And the last projection that I have seen is they said millions to billions. The last I've heard is they think it's about 7 billion years old. This object, our Earth and solar system and sun and all the planets aren't that old. So this thing was made a long time ago somewhere far, far away. And it literally traveled this whole time through the galaxy. And it just so happens that it's coming in our solar system, and it's coming in and it's going near all the inner planets, going around the sun, coming back around the sun, because it gets in the gravitational pull of the sun, so it whips around like all comets do. And if people remember from their science class, when a comet goes around the sun, it gets a tail from the burn off from the chemical reactions to the heat and the energy from the sun, and that's how you have a big long tail on a comet. You don't see that tail when it's not by the sun. You only see the tail when it's by the sun burning off. And they do have some data on what's going on with that comet while it's on the backside of the sun. But it's going to go around the backside of the sun, and then it's going to pass by the major planets, the inner planets again, including Earth. It's going to come within 1.8 AUs. Now, an AU is an astronomical unit. It's 93 million miles. And where that comes from is the Earth is approximately 93 million miles from the sun, approximately. So that's considered an astronomical unit. So the space from our sun to the Earth is 1 AU. So they measure distances in the solar system based on AUs. Just figure that like you had a yardstick that was sun, Earth. Then you could take that yardstick and go way out. What's weird about it is you got the galaxy that's kind of looks like a, what do you want to call it? It's kind of like a flat disk. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things could possibly come from the galaxy, and we're on the edge of the galaxy. It's like a plane, and you can see the picture that I got up here. It's on a plane, but then what people don't realize is that our solar system isn't on the same plane as the Milky Way. It's actually tilted at about 60-something degrees. So you have the galaxy with all the planets and stars on this plane, but then our solar system is about like this, where we got the sun and the planets going around. So what's weird about this is that it came within, they say, 5 degrees of our plane. We're basically, you have all of the stuff in our galaxy right here, and then you've got our solar system facing this way. It's coming from up here. It's coming basically where you wouldn't think it would come. And it's coming from an area of space that doesn't have metals. And this particular object is loaded with nickel. And the burn off is some sort of nickel composite, which people think there could be technology there because nickel would be used in a spacecraft. Just all over your head.
Speaking over my head, I mean, is this a coincidence or what's going on back there?
Well, that's the question. There's a certain scientist, his name is Dr. Avi Loeb. And Dr. Loeb says that there's 9 things about this comet that don't seem natural. As far as what I explained about how it's coming from, where it's coming from, how fast it's coming, it's the fastest object that we've ever seen flying around in space. It's going at 137,000 is what it is, miles an hour. And there was thought that maybe it was going faster than it should. But the thing of it is, this is a comet that we're not used to seeing. Most comets are coming out from the way, way, way outside the solar system. There's something out there called the Oort cloud and the Kuiper belt, and all these comets are flying around, and then they get swooped up, and you got Halley's Comet, and all those comets come around. This is not one of them. This is a rock that came from somewhere billions of years ago that are just coming right in. But what's really weird about it is it's like coming right in like you would a spacecraft if you were going to send a probe to probe our system. Came right in, went right by those planets, went right around the sun, going right by the planets again, and heading on out.
Quick question, Mark. It came into our solar system. Do you know, has it already probed Uranus?
It didn't go by Uranus or my anus.
That was close.
But
Talk about a close call.
It is going by Earth and Venus and Jupiter and Mars. Relatively close speaking. So basically, this Dr. Loeb says this comet almost seems like it could be not natural, just from those 9 factors. And they say as time goes on, they'll be able to eliminate 4 of the factors as we get more information. Because this comet, it's passed around the sun and it's coming back, and then it's going to be passing Earth at its closest point December 19th. So if this thing happened to be not natural, we'll see it change its course and trajectory trajectory. Say that fast 10 times. Its course. If it acted a little weird as it went around the sun, it's because it's made out of stuff that normally comets aren't made out of. But there's all kinds of speculation. It could be a spacecraft. It could be a spacecraft built within a comet. But that begs the question, if someone built a spaceship within a comet, or they put probing sensors on this comet, they did it billions of years ago, and they're probably long since dead. I mean, how many societies are going to last 7 billion years?
Hopefully ours is one of them, but you never know, right?
No, we're not going to last 7 billion years. The sun is going to basically die out, and the Earth will be dead before that.
Okay, Debbie Downer.
Yes, I've read the end of the story, and the end of the story for the Earth is not good.
The good one?
Yeah, you got mic problems. Well, I'm losing your sound.
Give me a second here. Am I back?
That's better.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. The mic's always been good, Mark. I don't know what.
That's true. I think they're listening in on us. What do you think? Oh, and that's another thing. They looked at the radio telescopes, and it's not emitting anything that would appear to be, like a signal or anything like that. So do you think this is just a bunch of hooey, or should we just be excited because we have a comet that is so old, came through our system? Do you think that all this talk about alien spaceships kind of detracts from the science, or does it make people more interested?
I think scientists are excited. I think, the common person, unless it ended up being something that was going to be close to the Earth or something that was an alien spacecraft, I think they're not going to be nearly as intrigued by it. Because I believe other comets have come closer, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, we have comets like Halley's Comet. Halley's Comet comes around, every 80-something years, 70 years? I don't remember off the top of my head.
How many AUs is that away from us?
I don't know where it's at. And I know Halley's Comet went by, in 1980? In the 80s, I remember Halley's Comet passed near us. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yep.
And when it passed the time before, they already were able to kind of look at things in the sky and kind of figure things out. So they had already determined that Halley's Comet also had cyanide. And there was a panic with people on the Earth that when Halley's Comet came close by, that it would poison us.
I'm really interested in how that they can tell what the composition of these things are from millions of miles away. Where did they get? I wonder where they get. I don't want to get too nerdy. I mean, we're not talking to a science class here. If we are, I'm sorry about your D's and F's, folks. But how do they get in there, and how are they able to determine what makes the comet up, the composition of the comet? And then we can talk a little bit about how I feel about it may be an alien aircraft.
They use some sort of photo something or other, I can't remember the general term, where they basically can examine the light that comes from an object, and they can break down the light, and they can determine what elements is causing that light to act the way it does. Now how they were able to figure that out, I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy, the stuff they come up with.
But they know that this comet is got a lot of nickel in it, and that it's different than a normal comet from that spectral analysis, whatever they call it.
Did I hear somewhere, or am I just imagining things, that they think the thing maybe was changing speeds or something like that?
I saw that, but then I saw that is bogus. There's a lot of internet stuff out there trying to make it out more than what it is, for basically clickbait. I mean, we're doing this video where we're just kind of not being scientific, but just kind of doing an overview about the comet and why people think it could be an alien spaceship, but we're not really too in-depth and serious about all the details. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if someone's so inclined, you can really get into the technical. I mean, they've written research papers, and there's all kinds of really, really technical published works already, videos about this comet. Pretty much everybody all the scientists are saying, okay, it's just a comet that's acting different because it's made out of different things than a normal comet.
Yeah, it's picked up a lot of speed flying through the galaxies like that.
You were asking about the speed. Every time it goes by, like the sun, it whips around the sun and it'll pick up speed or change course. And they determined that this comet has had 93 interactions with other gravitational bodies throughout its
Wow,
lifetime.
that's
How they're
interesting.
able to figure that out, I mean, it could be just a nudge. I mean, obviously, when that comet came through our solar system and then it gets in the gravity of the sun and it whips around and comes out, that one's obvious. But even just it's flying through space and there's a planet or there's a sun way over here, just that little bit of a tug will make that comet change its trajectory. It might only be a millimeter, but it'll change its trajectory every time it has contact with something that's got gravity.
So chances are slim. Let's look at it, slim to none. I mean, it's a long shot, but
Dr. Loeb said 30 to 40% chance. I think he's being very optimistic.
wow, that's very or pessimistic, depending.
No,
What happens.
Like 1 in 3 chance that it's not natural. To me, that's high odds.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
I'm just thinking it depends on if it were aliens, if they were friendly or not. I mean, could you imagine? You know, I hear I pay attention like I notice I've been hearing a lot or seeing a lot of the emergency broadcast system transmissions all the time. And I don't know, it's me. I guess I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, you know, but I don't think those happen. They say this is just a test, but they happen with more frequency at certain times. And I just wonder, I mean, lately we've been having, I think you and I had this discussion about a movie called Knowing or The Knowing with Nicolas Cage, where they talk about it's getting warmer in Earth's atmosphere. And here it ends up being, I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but I got to because I want to make my point here. It ends up being that the heat is not ever going to get any better. It's just getting worse. And it's a big, giant solar flare that's exploded out of the sun. And it's such a massive flare that it actually has the capability of just incinerating everything in the planets in its path. And Earth is one of the planets. So it's basically a doomsday scenario with that, right? And lately we've been having, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been having some pretty massive solar flares. It seems over the past 3 years, they've been getting worse and worse. And then either that or the political climate or whatever. I don't want to get into politics, but you know, that could have something to do with it too. But I don't think these emergency broadcast system alerts are just coincidental and random. I think they increase in frequency as the chances of something occurring, either a natural phenomenon or a man-made event, you know, that might threaten mankind or a country or what have you. So that worries me a little bit. Some of these, you know, we are so focused on what's happening in the world today that I don't think we focus enough on what could possibly happen externally, you know, with something like a comet like this or solar flares, or there are a lot of, we're in such a, people don't realize that life on this earth, I don't think we'll ever realize it until maybe one day we're gone and can see the big picture. But they don't realize, I think, just how delicate life is and what a delicate balance there is, not just here, but throughout the universe that keeps us. It's something how the sun is just the perfect distance away from the earth to be able to support the life. If you look at how miraculous some of these things are, that's why it's really hard to deny that there's a God or a bigger, you know, force in the universe. So, I mean, I don't want to get too heavy. I guess I already am, but you know, you never know when something like that could happen. So it very well could be, you know, and they say that, you know, the second time when Earth will be destroyed for good by fire, with the way the atmosphere is and things. I'm not a global warming guy. I don't believe in that. Some people may, and that's your prerogative. I'm not going to condemn what your beliefs are or say that they're wrong. But, regardless of what it is, it's very delicate. And if something happens to upset that balance in nature and, balance in the universe or our own solar system or galaxy, it could very well, catastrophic, very well could happen.
I just read earlier today that the Chinese came out with a model that, everybody talks about global warming, but actually their models suggest an ice age global cooling because there's changes in the ocean currents. And with the changes in the ocean currents and the different temperatures, it made it such that the stats or the computations are showing that actually there's as good a chance or greater that we'll have global cooling, that we'll have an ice age, as opposed to it gets hot and everything melts. So how do you know? But here's the thing, back to this comet. If it was made by aliens or aliens had somehow manipulated it, seems like a lot of work. I mean, the time it would take to retrofit a comet to have as a spaceship or as a probe, you might as well just send your probe out. Why would you have to have it on a comet? Other than maybe the speed, maybe it'd be hard to get it going 137,000 miles an hour. I don't know. I think we've been able to get things that fast, though. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, look at the, what's the probe we sent out? It's already outside of our solar system.
Voyager.
Voyager, yeah, that's millions of miles away by now, right?
Yeah, it's actually out of the solar system.
Right, which that seemed kind of unrealistic when they launched it. Scenario, how would people react? How would all you folks out there react if you did find out something like this would happen? And that's a big if, because I do believe that the government, if a catastrophic event, which was illustrated in that movie that I was talking about, but if something were going to happen like that and they knew it was going to destroy all life on Earth, what good would it really be to even broadcast that it was going to happen? If there's nothing you can do about it, is there anything really good that comes out of that? Or do you I think a lot of people might die of anxiety, of heart attacks and things, just thinking about it. Like they say, if somebody jumps out of an airplane and their chute doesn't open, a lot of them may be dead, from a heart attack before they even hit the ground because just of the anticipation. I think it would create widespread panic and things, but if you don't know if it's going to be good or bad, again, the movie Independence Day, you don't know until they tell you, hey, this thing's slowing down, and until they take an aggressive action, who knows what's going to happen, to be honest.
Well, unless it radically changes its speed or direction. Because if it does radically change its speed or direction, then that suggests that it's under power of something not natural. I don't anticipate that happening. But if it did, would people really comprehend what that means? We're not going to see unless the thing changed direction and came and landed on the White House lawn. If the thing didn't do that, but it just went on about its business and left the solar system, we'll never see that thing again. That rock is about a little over 3 miles in diameter. The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs was anywhere from 6 to 9 miles in diameter. So this thing's a little smaller, but this thing could, if it did hit the Earth, which it's not going to this time, and it won't ever, because once it's past the Earth, it's going out into space again. And it'll be millions or billions of years until it ever runs into anything, if it ever runs into anything at all. That thing might, in the lifetime of that rock, it was lonely for a long time. And then just in these last couple weeks, it's seeing action. But it doesn't have any knowledge, obviously, because it's an inanimate object.
Right.
But it's seeing action, and you would like to think that, oh, that's like an alien probe or something like that that's coming in here. But like I said at the beginning, if it was, it's going to take them billions of years to ever get the information from it. So that being said, you mentioned the Voyager spacecraft. There's actually two, and I was checking. Voyager's going about 36,000 miles an hour as it leaves our solar system into inner space. That thing is going to fly forever. That thing is going to fly until the end of the universe. The universe will die before that thing ever gets anywhere because that is slow. It's going to take it millions and millions of years to ever come up into something. So someday in the future, like 5 billion years from now, there might be a planet where this little Voyager probe goes by and they're like, what's that? And here we're long gone. Way long gone. Way, way long gone. That's the time periods that we're talking when we're talking about these objects. I mean,
yeah. And you hear some of these statistics, there's like 8 million planets, I guess, that they've anticipated are similar to Earth. And out of that 8 million, about 4 million would be conducive to sustaining human life. 4 million planets. So if those are ideal conditions and things, how in the world could there not be something somewhere else? Unless it was just, I do believe in God, unless it's God's plan just to have, that's a whole other issue, is religion and religions in the world and things like that. Are we naive to believe that Christianity is not the oldest religion in the world? I believe it's Buddhism. Something of that nature. I mean, is it all just faith-based, whether it's Christianity or another religion? And if you're faithful to whatever it is whatever you call God or whatever you worship, is there that reward? Who was the creator? And it can blow your mind if you let it. But yeah, I mean, you never know something like that happening. I couldn't imagine. I'm just more like what humankind would do if it was, because I have to believe, I'm not naive enough. I think that if we're being visited, and I think we have been, I think we've been observed before. I don't think they would I think they're a little bit more advanced than to have to send a comet across billions of miles to
billions of years.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you believe in things, and I mean, it's things that, I don't know, some of these scientists that they believe that they actually came here from the future or different planets and things, like Michelangelo, like, or I'm sorry, not Michelangelo, like Da Vinci, because he was so far advanced with helicopters and things when they hadn't even thought about cars yet, and Einstein with his theories. And they've talked about these wormholes and that for a long time, where you can actually traverse time and space through these wormholes. I mean, if you can do that billions of miles, you don't have to waste how many years sending something, as fast as that thing is traveling. How many thousands or millions of years did it still take to get here? I mean, who has that kind of patience, right? You can live for millions of years and wait until that thing hits it. I don't know. That's bizarre to me.
If they had the tech to create a wormhole and put the comet through the wormhole and then have it pop in close to our solar system and come in, I guess that would be kind of an interesting way of doing it, because with a comet, nobody would think that it's actually a probe. But the thing of it is if it was a probe, it would be sending out signals trying to get information, and there's no indication that that's the case. So,
yeah.
So, if I had to put my life on it, like we did, real or woo-woo, I would say that this is just an asteroid that is made out of different things because it came from a different place in the galaxy.
So the concept that it's an alien craft is woo-woo, in your opinion? I
can't picture it.
I think it's woo-woo too.
I can't picture it. I don't see enough evidence. I'm not a scientist, but just from logic looking at it, it doesn't make sense to me. It's an interesting object. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to find more and more of them because there are so many different satellites up in the sky, and then there's actually satellites that are going around Mars and other planets, and actually they're getting some of the data. Some of the data they've gotten from this comet are from probes that are like circling Mars and other places.
Yeah.
We actually have probes on the other side of the sun that can get information. Because
Yeah.
when you think of the solar system, it's a lot of empty it's a lot of empty space. I mean, you see the picture like I'm putting up here right now with the planets in the solar system, but they all look close together, but they're
Yeah,
not.
they do. I can see that. Yep.
Millions and millions and millions of miles apart. And then those pictures of the solar system are never to scale. Now, when I was in 5th grade, and somewhere I have the picture, me and some friends in 5th grade made a scale model of the solar system out of paper mache. The Earth, I can still remember this. The Earth was like this big. The sun was like a 4-foot ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Jupiter was like this big and Saturn was this big. But then if you did it to scale, not just the scale of its size, but if you did it to the scale, like if you took the model outside and you put the sun in the middle of the playground, you know, and you like did it to scale like a mile is a millimeter or something like that, those planets would be going out like hundreds of feet or even miles to scale.
Right.
That's the distances that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a big, huge planet, Jupiter, flying out there, and that is millions and millions of miles away from us, further away from the sun, but yet that big, huge planet just keeps going. In fact, we're lucky to have a big planet like Jupiter because since it's so big, all these comets and rocks that are flying in space tend to hit Jupiter because Jupiter's big. These things hit Jupiter. Basically, it cleans the solar system as Jupiter's going around the solar system. Rocks and stuff that are trapped in Jupiter's gravity hit Jupiter and incinerate. Each one of those that's happened through these millions of years has saved Earth. So if you're a believer and you believe that God created the Earth in 6,000 years ago, then that means that the history that we see of the universe has been kind of like set up. I tend to believe that God is timeless. If he wants it to take 6 billion years for Earth to develop for life to develop on Earth, why not? I mean, what do you think? What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm more concerned about what happens in our own solar system than I am from something that's happening from worlds that are billions of miles away, as far as catastrophic world-ending events. You always hear scientists say, well, we're safe for, I don't know how many millions of years it is that the sun is going to burn out in X millions of years.
Billions.
But here's the thing. Whether you're a Christian or not, and Christians, it says Earth will be destroyed by fire. That would actually freeze us out. If the sun burned out, we would all freeze to death. But it's not, it doesn't say from the sun burning out or what have you. I mean, my brother called me yesterday he lives in Southern Ohio, and he called me yesterday and said, oh, thankfully I finally got through to you, Tim. My phone, there was so much static and everything. And I guess there were some other people that were complaining about that. We've had these solar flares that for the past couple of days have reached Earth, and people are seeing now to me, this is a little crazy. And then I just saw another emergency broadcasting system. I'm not trying to create any panic, but is it coincidence? I don't know. But you have all these solar flares, and they were very powerful. Most powerful one within a couple of years, I think, hit. And now you got static and radios and things like that. Remember, a fine line. How far is it from creating static? And what if a solar flare 4 times that strong had exploded out of the sun? And it's reasonable that could happen. I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be 4 times as strong, 10 times as strong, or whatever it is. But there's always a possibility that something could erupt out of the sun in our solar system that could create, it could just burn us to cinders, you know?
Well, here's the good news. The good news is with the sun being 93 million miles away, I mean, if you got the sun and you got the earth like way, way, way out, way, way, way far away, and this is the sun. If you got it, now keep in mind, you got the sun and it's a ball and it goes in all directions. The the energy from the sun goes all directions, up, down, everywhere like that. We're 93 million miles away and we're getting just a speck of all that energy. Just a speck. Because just imagine if you had a 93 million mile from the sun, which means it would be 93 times 2 to the other side. It'd be 186 mile dome or sphere around this. We're getting just that little teeny pinprick of all that energy. So the good news is if a big, huge solar flare did come from the sun, it's got a lot of places to go other than us 93 million miles away. It could go this way, it could go this way, it could go up, it could go down, it could go to the other side of the solar system. So we are lucky that it's far enough away that it probably wouldn't envelope the Earth, but they do cause the interference. And the thing that's probably more concerning is, the northern lights are because of the magnetic field of the Earth, the sun bouncing off that. There's talk that the magnetic field of the Earth might flip, where the North Pole will become the South Pole and the South Pole will become the North Pole. And they say that's happened in the past because they can look at the rocks and they can see magnetic, because rocks that were magnetic, they form in certain ways, based on the direction to the poles. And that could really mess things up if the poles flipped, the positive and negatives on the Earth. That, I don't know if it'd be catastrophic, but they say it would be a big deal. It's something to be worried about if you want to worry about those sort of things. But there's so many ways to die in the universe. Just like off topic, there's a giant super volcano underneath Yellowstone National Park that when that thing blows, it's probably going to wipe out the United States.
Easily, if not most of the world. Yeah.
It might cause the world to go into a deep freeze because of blocking out the sun's rays. But at minimum, it probably would wipe out majority of life on Earth at minimum.
That's like I say, it's a delicate balance. And whether you die from cancer or heart disease or a traffic accident or an animal attacks you or whatever happens, dying is dying. I don't mean to be, it's not the big bummer, but everybody's born and everybody dies. So unless it's the rapture, which, a lot of folks, if the Lord would come and take us into the air, but dying is just a part of living. So, I mean, philosophy is, maybe it's because I'm older now, is, end of the world event, maybe not be a bad way to die. I don't know. What's different? The worst part about that though is knowing that all your family and friends are going to pass too. You want them to be able to go on, but God's will is going to be done one way or the other. So yeah, you've got to accept that we're only on this earth for a short time. But right, buddy, this guy knows. He's been around the block. This cat back here.
I've always had the thought that if there are all those other planets in the universe, that maybe if you're a believer, maybe we will be there to help God with another planet out there with those people. Maybe those people look totally different than us. Maybe they're a totally different creation. Who's to say that humans are the only creation of God? That's why people are in a panic about what would happen if space aliens presented themselves. Is what if the space aliens said there is no God and we're the ones that planted your seeds here. We put the gene stuff in the oceans and we're the ones that did it. Now, I know there would be people that would say those aliens are evil. There's people that would say those aliens are possibly demons and they're trying to mislead us. I tend to think that if aliens came down and landed on the White House lawn, that it would be bad. I think there would be people in arms trying to shoot at the thing. Don't you? I think so.
Release me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something.
Well, thanks, guys. Do you have anything else, Tim, or do you want to wrap up?
No, that's just about it. I mean, I don't know how woo woo a lot of this is, but we're kind of looking at possibilities of somehow someday encountering alien life or people from other planets or other universes. And there's so many things that are unexplained, guys. Think about it. On this earth, the pyramids, Sphinx, the oceans have never been explored. Nobody even knows that the deepest parts of the ocean have been the Mariana Trench and all those different. Just here on the earth, there are so many unexplained things. And how many years has this earth been around, and we still don't know everything about it? I'm sure there's creatures out there and animals and plant life that we still haven't discovered just here. I mean, we believe, I guess, what we want to believe, and different people believe different things. But if you look at the whole scope of everything, it's just so massive and unbelievable that some of these things happen. So the theories on how they happened, they differ, but the fact that they were fantastic and just over the top events that must have taken place to accomplish those things remains, regardless of how you think it happened. But that's it. And as you guys watch, I think you're gonna that's one thing we do. End of the earth and possible cataclysmic events aren't really something that we can do up and tap dance, do a soft shoe and laugh and make fun of. But we do like to be lighthearted about some of these things, and we talk a lot about unexplained phenomena and ghosts and aliens and Bigfoot and anything that people can't explain, such as this comet. So get on here and subscribe and take the journey with us and have fun. And I think we'll all learn some things about these different things together.
I agree 100%, Tim. Well said. I mean, pretty much we are discovering these things on our own, and we want you to kind of come along on the journey. Now, there's all kinds of videos out there talking about this comet very technically. And there's all kinds of videos that talk about all these other things that we kind of touch on, but they're not doing it like we're doing it. We're doing it to basically have fun and for everybody to go on the adventure together. That's why we want you to be part of the Woo Woo crew. You can share your stories with us. Well, first of all, we want you to subscribe, but for sure, share your stories with us. If you've got any sort of paranormal story or anything that would be interesting to share in this unexplained phenomenon type realm, send us an email at share@projectwoowoo.wtf. Share@projectwoowoo.wtf. Until next time, we'll see you around the galaxy.